Hi everyone, my name is Tanya and welcome to my channel where I discuss things all manifesting. So this is in regards to 4 books that I have read and bringing some clarity as to what those books are saying, but a short and condensed version of that. And the first one is Outwitting the Devil. Now, I don't really see too many people talking about this book, but it brings so much clarity as to why you may be struggling. And in particular with this book, it is more about mind control, getting control of your mind and not paying attention to the outside world, as you probably heard in many other videos as well. And this one is Napoleon Hill's having a discussion, I guess you could say, in regards to the positive and the negative side of our minds. And it's kind of like having a discussion with the devil, who happens to be the negative side. So anything that we struggle with, that our thoughts are repetitive on negative things, he's having a discussion about why this happens, what it is that he says that happens. It certainly brought a lot of clarity to my mind in understanding as to the back and forth that we have going into what is positive and what is negative, why it happens, and how to overcome it, how to deal with it. So basically, the outwitting the devil is controlling your mind of what you want, what you don't want. And that's the same concept of what you believe is what you receive. So whether it's a negative or a positive thought, that's what you're going to receive. If it's a negative all the time and you're saying, I can't, it's too hard and all of that stuff, then that's what's going to continue to happen for you. There is a Bible verse that actually goes with this as well, and it is James 6, verses 6 to 8. And it says, he must ask in faith without doubting, because he who doubts is like a wave of the sea, blown and tossed by the wind. That man should not expect to receive anything from the Lord. He is a double-minded man, unstable in all his ways. So even the Bible is telling us, pick one or the other, and either way you'll manifest. And it's better to choose the good side, the right side, the better side, rather than the negative. But if you're going back and forth between the two, you can't manifest like that. It's pick one. Most of the time, most of us pick the negative side of we can't. And as you've probably been researching as to this mindset that you need to try and overcome. So choosing, do you want good or do you want bad? Even though there's not really a good or a bad, it just is. And you should be finding that one as well. And also in this book of Outwitting the Devil, he'll learn that the devil tries to destroy the right to freedom of thoughts and causes one will go through and living in this hell on earth, so to speak. And he's asked the devil, so what do you say about this? And the devil responds, you call yourself a thinker, and you are. But you will never be the sort of thinker that frightens me unless you gain and exercise greater control over your emotions. So your thoughts get swayed also by your emotions. So it's very important to learn to control, be aware of what you're thinking and how your emotions are actually swaying those thoughts. So when somebody is confused, they can be indecisive, so they're doubting, so they're not certain, but they're not sure, and their emotions get mixed in there, and which usually is fear, and it convinces the person that it's not possible, and so you give up, and you will not receive what you want. So it's important to be decisive on what you want. So what you're thinking, you must decide what it is, and don't change your mind. And this is how you control your thoughts. Pick one or the other. Do not go back and forth. It's one or the other. And you must be aware of what that is. So paying attention to your thoughts and learning to control them. And so the next one, I'll give you an example actually. My son at the time wanted to buy a car, and I was going to give him some money to purchase a car also. And so we decided, I encouraged him to find what he wanted. And he couldn't make up his mind between two particular cars. And one I thought was practical and should be the one that he picks. And he was sort of still umming and ahhing. This was going on for a couple of weeks before I decided. I was sick of his indecisiveness, and I decided for him. Without telling him, I decided. And I decided on a particular ute, we call them here in Australia, that he wanted either a ute or a sedan, and the ute would have been more practical. And so his first car that he spotted was a ute, and he came to me and showed me, and I went, okay, let's go and have a look. So we went and had a look at it, and as soon as I saw it and the way the guy had treated it and how it looked, it was filthy. It still had rubbish all over the floor. The back of it had rust in the tray. And my son climbed underneath it and noticed that there were oil stains in there as well in the engine. And my son's looking at it and he's going, yeah, that's what I want. But he said it's just too dirty, or it's all the reasons I listed that it was not a good fit. So I said, okay, we'll go and think about it. But no, that was a definite no, that I'm not going to purchase such a rubbish, especially for the price the guy was asking for. So we went back home, and then about another week later, my son's come back out and he goes, oh, look at this one. And I've had a look at it. It was a bit more in price, and it was almost exactly the same as the first one that we looked at. And we went and had a look. The guy actually said, no, I'm sorry, that somebody's having a look at it now, but he'll give us a call if they don't want it. We did receive the call, and we did go and have a look at it, and it was perfect. I looked at it, the inside, the guy had it, it was immaculate, absolutely immaculate. And before my son even decided, I decided, yes, that's it, that's the one we want. They took it for a drive and come back, and my son's going, yeah, okay. So we purchased that car. And the difference in real time of this is learning what you want. It comes down to two things. Pick one. Be very decisive in picking, do you want this one or do you want that? There is no, when I'm doing this, I have no doubt. I'm not back and forth as to whether or not, is it possible to get a better car at a better price? Or is it possible to get the same car but better, which just proved that it was. So when I'm choosing something, I do not throw any negative doubts into it as to if it's possible or not, or what ifs and things like that. There is nothing. That's what I want, and I go and try and look for that. And that's where being decisive on what you want, and which is the devil is going back and forth. My son has got the devil in his head going, you're not going to find anything better. This is the best that there is and everything like this. And mine is the other side, of the positive side, going, I don't care. I don't accept that. That the car we want is not that, but it will happen. We're going to find it. So being very decisive and not becoming fearful and allowing your emotions to take hold of what if there's nothing else, or this is the best that you can get. It's just not required. Just make up your mind and be very decisive about it and keep looking. It will come, and usually better than you ever expected. That's where decision comes in. And so now the second one is The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. I think I've lost, or I've actually given my book to somebody else. But this book is really good in helping just the concept of now, what that actually means. So I find that when a problem arises or when you want something that you need it done now or you'd like it now sort of thing, that's what now means. It's now. It's not in the future. Something that you require it now is when now is. Or now that you decide. You decide now that that's what you need. And when you need something urgently, sort of thing, it's there. It's always going to pop up for you when you need it. I always look at problems are an opportunity to change things now, right now. And if not now, it will be in the immediate future. And that's how I look at problems, especially when I'm working with somebody else, listening to all of their so-called problems, and all I can see is solutions to whatever it is that they're saying. My head's counteracting everything that they're saying, and it's just got to come out of the mouth, where some people struggle with it because I am very direct when I'm offering solutions or suggestions, and it's up to them as to whether they take it or leave it. It's no skin off my nose if they want to stay and keep fighting with what's in their head. This is a step-by-step process, this learning how to go about doing now. And every time you want something or a problem occurs, now is the time to deal with it. When that comes up for you, dealing with it now. When I mean dealing with it, it's choosing, it's deciding. Do you want it or not? What is it that you do want? That question in particular for me is, well, what do you want? Is the go-to question when I'm trying to help somebody or when somebody asks me for help. Then what do you want? And that's it. They'll come up with their own answer. They always come up with their own. Or they'll even come up to you and go, well, I want this, but, and then I will work on that part of wiping out that but that they have. And the more that I've done that, the quicker the results that I've had. And learning for myself, because I manifest mostly for other people rather than myself, because, not needing a lot of things. So this is what I do to help others understand and learn how to do it for themselves, or actually build their businesses a lot quicker. The biggest thing of the power of now, of manifesting now, is that the reason why it doesn't come is because you're hanging on to the problem. And you've got to learn to let go of the problem. You don't even have to really come up with the solution unless you know what the solution would be. You don't need to actually come up with the solution, but you do need to let go of the problem to allow a solution to come to you. Whether it comes in your head or whether it shows up in the 3D or in real, you don't need to try really hard. It comes to you anyway. But it doesn't come because you're hanging on to the problem. You are trying to force the solution. You don't need to force the solution, but you do need to let go so an answer will come. I have a little saying with this, is that life is trying to teach you something, and if you're not paying attention, it's going to force you. So a situation, for my daughter, here's an example. For my daughter, we went out one night to a restaurant, and with her partner, we were sitting there at the restaurant, and the lady that was serving us was, I assumed she was new, and it wasn't going so well as my daughter would have liked. And I could see her getting more and more upset about the service. And I said, well, what's wrong? And she goes, I'd really like better service. I was just sort of, she just wants better service because she was just unhappy with it. Drink was taking too long, and what was required just wasn't happening not necessarily to her speed, but the way that it was coming across, I guess. So, when I asked her, I said, so what do you want? She goes, better service. I just want better service. Oh, okay then. So we just sat there. That was it. It allowed her to get that off her chest, which is letting it go. So this is when it works quicker, is that when you be honest with somebody and you tell them what it is that you want, and you just sort of, it's almost like venting, but it's a really short version, that she let it go. And within a couple of minutes, we actually got served by someone else who ran the restaurant a lot better. And we had a good night and served really well and everything like that. And she was happy. What makes you happy? Just good service. And the second one, there's another one that I had with another lady that I used to work with. And we were discussing about manifesting, and I said, she was pointing out to me, she goes, so that was, she said, I remember my son asking me that he wanted a push bike for Christmas. And she said, this actually was a couple of months before Christmas when she asked him what he wanted for Christmas. And he said, I want a push bike. And she's going, okay. And so she forgot all about it. And one day she was out with her partner, but her son was somewhere else. And they were going somewhere, and for whatever reason they couldn't go to that particular spot, and a suggestion came to go to somebody else's home to visit a friend who actually lived in that area that was close by. So she decided, yeah, okay, we'll go and visit the friend. On their way to see the friend, there was a push bike sitting outside somebody's house with a sign on it saying that it was for free, and it was the exact bike that her son wanted in really, really good condition. And it was just so close to Christmas. So she received this push bike where she only had to hide it for a little while because it wasn't ready when he wanted it, because Christmas was a way away, and now Christmas was getting closer. It came to her and she got it for free, and it was exactly what he wanted. She said, that's what you mean by doing that. And I said, yes, ask for what you want and let it go. So it works either through yourself, or you can do it for somebody else. And doing it for somebody else is asking them, what do you want? And it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to do it. It could come to them in any other way. It doesn't mean that you have to actually be a part of it or do that. And so, yeah, that's how the power of now works, if you can understand that one. I'm trying to be as clear as I can, or as simple as I can with these books. So the next one is the Neville Goddard. Feeling is the secret. I've got this big one in here, and I've got my little tags to point me out to some of these really good spots. Feeling is the secret. The one thing that I'd like to clarify in regards to this is the word feeling. It's not an emotion. It's not fear. It's not, when you actually get the feeling, it's not actually an emotion. So fear is an emotion, and anxiety, all of those other things, they're just emotions. Anger is an emotion. Also with that, the terminology, I guess, of having a high vibration or a low vibration. I use the terminology of fast and slow because anger is considered a low vibration, but it's fast. And when you're in it, your energy is going fast when you're angry. And when you're sad, that's considered low vibration. I call that a slow vibration, because when you're sad, you're lethargic, you're tired, there's no motivation, there's no energy there. And so I prefer to say fast and slow in regards to that. When you're excited, it's fast. When you're angry, it's fast. And this does not make any difference to the manifesting at all, because the energy that gets put into it, it's building up and building up and building up, or it's going the other way of not happening, so to speak. Anger never bothers me. When someone is frustrated or angry, that something's not working for them, or that, for me, that's everything coming together in one, and it's almost like it's about to explode, but it comes out verbally and people go, get angry about it. But I don't find that is something for me to be concerned about, because that is a great moment when I actually use that to say, because they've been venting the whole time with their anger, their frustration, and whatever's going wrong. That is a great time that I step in and I say, well, what do you want? And in asking a person a question like that, when they can be in such a moment, their head just goes blank. So what they've done is actually just all of a sudden let go of that negative thought. And they're sort of like, oh. And that's all that's required to let go, is to give them something else, that they've completely let go of that thought in their head, and that emotion just disappears too. And now you're in that space of manifesting, just smack in that space. You don't have to get them to, it's helping them to get to that point of nothingness, I guess it is. And even if they don't know what they want, they've already let go. So what they want will come, because they do know what they want, but they just think that they don't know. But letting go is probably the key to letting your manifestation come to you. Because when you're going against it by being angry with it and all of that, it's just not going to happen. So the important part with this feeling is the secret, is that to make a decision, definite decision, and there's no emotion attached to it. So you've let go of the anger, you've let go of the frustration, or any other emotion that's attached to it. There's no fear, there's no, oh, I hope, I wish, because that's desperation, that's in there as well. And agree and accept what it is that you want, with no doubts, which is the Napoleon Hill, Outwitting the Devil. So there's no doubt, there's no back and forth about the whole thing. There's no emotion in it as to whether or not it's possible or not. And the feeling is not actually a feeling as such, if we say it like that. When you agree and you accept the decision of what it is that you do want, the feeling is kind of like relief or calm. You feel relieved that you've got the solution. You feel calm that you found the solution, so to speak. And that's it. There's no, in that space, when that happens, there's no pushing, there's no doubt, there's nothing else along those lines. And once you do that, recognize that that's what it feels like when you want to manifest. Recognize your mindset, recognize how you feel about that time when you did that. And even if you have gone and you've resolved that, but usually you won't go back and forth, but even if somebody does come back to me after I've gone and helped them with this, and they'll come back and they go, oh yes, but, and I will be that strong one. The energy I put in overrides their energy, because now I'm actually getting into a spirit-to-spirit exchange, I guess, or manifestation. My spirit overrides theirs, or not overrides, mine is stronger than theirs, and what I want will manifest, and what I want to manifest is what they want. And so that's how I do it for somebody else. And when I do that, it comes across as like I'm being assertive, but it appears aggressive. What I'm being assertive or even aggressive about is the decision that this is what you want. This is what they want. So I will stand my ground and sort of put this is it. No, I don't want that. This is what you want. Is it not what you want? To help them to get to relax and be comfortable or safe knowing that it's going to happen. The other part of the letting go, it works quicker for me because I'm already detached. This is not for me. This is for somebody else, and I am using my knowledge and understanding about how this works for somebody else. That's what I'm doing. I'm using my energy to manifest what is required. And it comes quick because I'm not attached to it. I'm not fearful. I'm not doubtful of any of it. And because I'm doing it right then and there when somebody's talking about it, that's the now part. And that's how it happens. Now the fourth book that I'm talking about is Atomic Habits by James Clear. This is how you're putting the habit of manifesting in place. So this is a step-by-step process that if you're just learning, it's going to take step by step, but every single moment counts. Every single time that there is something that goes wrong is an opportunity to change your mind quickly. This is a forever thing, but it gets easier the more you do it. And the more you do it every single time, and the quicker you do it, the more you learn how to manifest for yourself or even for others. So you're actually replacing your negative thoughts and habits with positive thoughts and habits. And it happens in the moment of things not going well or things that you want. So you're trying to move on or trying to get better, and every step is what that is. To take the negative thought of it's not possible to what do I want, and yes, it is possible. It can take a bit of time. I'm the positive one. I usually manifest for others, and it works really quick because, as I said, with all of that, I'm detached and it's not for me, but my energy is used to do that and to manifest for the other person exactly what they want. I don't judge on that or anything along those lines. So making it a habit of the changes that you want, and you've got to start with the small habits because you have to start with the mindset can be quite challenging to overcome because you're used to with the habits that you've put in place and society's put in place and everything, all of that other stuff that you've probably learned about now has become a habit. And what you're doing is swapping with other habits. That's all that actually is to swap the habit. So in the word swap, I actually also do NLP, which is called Neuro-Linguistic Program, which if many of you know Tony Robbins, I do some of that as well. I've actually incorporated it all together as a manifestation technique. I do a pattern that's called a swish pattern when I'm doing manifesting with somebody. So I'm swishing between the negative and the positive, and till which one becomes the stronger. And I'm usually the stronger one as I'm not swishing back and forth with the negative and the positive. The person who I work with is usually the negative and I'm usually the positive. So I'm just swishing back and forth with the person. And depending on the rapport that has been built between us as to how quick it can manifest, some people can be very resistant. It doesn't even matter for me whether the person believes me or not. Because sometimes they just don't believe me, and I go ahead and I push, I guess you could say, and what they want manifests. And it happens a lot quicker than they thought and a lot better than they thought. And so I use this swish pattern that is in NLP as to back and forth. And I work on even though we're face to face, when somebody's asking me when they're talking to me about an issue, I talk on a surface level with them, which is to see where their head's at or to see what they're thinking. And then I start, I guess, as I'm saying, is pushing or poking to see what they truly want. And the more they stay, or the more they allow me to help them, the stronger I get. The more, when I mean stronger, I mean definite. The more definite I am on this is what they want and this is what they can have. And I just keep going until it's almost like I'm the one left talking and they've kind of not shut down, but they're submissive. I don't know if submissive is even the word, that they're starting to accept what I'm telling them. They don't fully accept what I'm telling them, but they're starting to let go of what they thought and accept what I'm telling them. So that's the swish pattern that actually I do with somebody. This can happen at any time easily, through a conversation that you have with somebody. People talk that it's manipulation. It's manipulation if your intent is not good and only for yourself. Now, and in saying that, be careful. I've had people who have manipulated me, and when I don't fight back, I just accept, okay, you be like that, you do that, and I've accepted that. So I've let go of the problem, so to speak. And whatever the person is trying to do to me or manipulate me or to get for themselves usually has backfired quite big. So because you've got to remember, this manifestation, if you're doing it this way, you're doing it on a spiritual level. And there's no need to get someone back or retaliate in regards to that it will happen to them anyway. And it has happened a few times, and even just recently that it's happened, it's happening to somebody, and it's getting worse and worse for them. So just be aware that when you're doing this, not to manipulate, not to, all the Bible things, don't steal or kill or anything like that. If you're going to kill something, kill that negative thought in your head. That's a great place, because when you kill it in your head, the negative or the I can'ts or any of that stuff, that's instantly flips it for you. So yeah, it's a bit of a long video, but I hope you understand what I'm saying. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below, and I will either do another video or I'll get back to you in the comments. These videos, I will talk in regards to a lot of other books and trying to put the pieces together, but maybe make it more simplified. I hope this is simplified. I'm better at showing and doing than I am probably at explaining. But I hope you do get it, and I hope you try it for yourself. And yeah, so thank you for watching and sticking with me, and I'll hope to see you in the next video. Thanks.